Welcome back to another video, and it's a new year, new dailies, starting it all with a race at Monza. If you raced here, you already know of the insanity that's about to take place. I have already done several races here, and as a result of that, my rating has taken quite the dip. We're starting quite the ways down at 14th place. For the life of me, I was not able to do a good lap with the Bugatti Veyron, which seemed to be the car of choice in the leaderboards this time around. And you're about to see me struggle quite a bit with this car as we head down to the first chicane. Expect carnage, at least one sacrifice to the Shadow Realm as we brake early, and already there's a fight at the front as we miraculously survive the chicane while going side to side with another Veyron. So cheers very much to that driver in the Veyron for keeping it as clean as possible. But the trouble is not over for us, any of us for that matter, as two thick boy Veyrons go side by side through Curva Grande as we make our way to Della Roggia. And going side by side into the next chicane will be disastrous, but thankfully the Croatian driver backs off wisely as I had the inside line coming in, and he realized the best option for the both of us would be to make space. So far I'm really appreciating the sportsmanship that is being shown by everybody, but it's Monza, so stay tuned for chaos to ensue as we go understeering into Lesmo 1. The Veyron with its top end speed does make it a beast in the straights, but also understeers a lot since it's built like a freaking tank. And as we go through Lesmo 2, Monza has claimed its first victims, but surprisingly not in either of the chicanes. So now we are going down the straight. This is where the Veyron really shines with 7 gears as opposed to 6 in most of these cars, like the RCZ in front. Its top speed can really make up for the lost pace. As we head into Ascari, which usually can be annoying to nail with the bumps unsettling your car very easily, but the tanky boy here, the Veyron, just cruises right through without much trouble. As we make our way down to Parabolica, the Veyron has no trouble at all catching up to the RCZ, which would otherwise be the go-to car in the Group 4 category. But where the issue lies is with the braking power, as you're about to see here, as we outbrake the RCZ but also go just a little bit too wide, getting slightly nudged by the RCZ as he turns in a little too early. It could have been a little bit cleaner, but we've gotten it done, so now we start in the second lap in P10. Up ahead we got 4 cars fighting for P6, which is good for us as any fighting in the front opens up the opportunity for us to close the gap. But at the same time, it's the first chicane that's about to come up, and if we brake too early, we are about to serve somebody up to the Shadow Realm. As we brake on point, the group ahead still fighting as the Renault gets tangled up with the RCZ. We are able to squeeze right through, but not without getting a penalty as we get in the way of the Renault. Which is understandable as he did get sidelined onto the gravel by our tanky boy here. But it really would have been great to make an overtake at least once without a penalty in Monza. And so now we are up to P8, but now we have to ask ourselves, at what cost? And the answer is 1 second. I mean, it's right there in front of us. There really is no simpler answer for that. As I say that, we cut across the curb just a little too much and we end up getting an additional 0.5 second penalty. As if our luck couldn't get any worse. If there's any upside to any of this, it would be that some of the other drivers have penalties to serve as well, which does give us a fighting chance. As long as we don't finish P14, I think I could consider this a win. As we serve our penalty, which seems to take forever by the way, all the cars that we were able to overtake gets to slide on past through, making this lap very much redundant. But let's see if there's any chance of us making up the ground we just lost. Let's not forget, the Veyron is a fast car. One of the fastest actually. Even with the penalty, we have caught up with the guys ahead, and with the RCZ going really wide out of Ascari, we are gifted a position up the grid. For some reason, the German in the RCZ gets to drive away scot-free from a penalty, and that really is a great example of how inconsistent at times and unfair this penalty system really is. As we make our way around Parabolica, another RCZ ahead seems to have gone wide. It seems like he was pushed out as the car ahead seemed to get a penalty. This really was a reoccurring theme throughout this entire week, but I really enjoyed the race despite the many mistakes I and many others made. And if you have been watching up to this point, consider giving the video a like and subscribe for more Gran Turismo content, as I'll try to make at least one video for every single week of this year. And we head to the first chicane for the 3rd time with a really clean overtake on the Spanish in the RCZ. And the Renault seemed to have cut the chicane and got himself an additional penalty on top of his existing 0.5 penalty, which makes things all the better for us. So it's all a matter of us being able to keep our pace and not bottle it at the same time. As we head down to De La Roggia, remembering where to brake, which is just before the tarmac on the side which is used by the marshals, we see once again a couple of drivers going wide. I feel like this should be the title of this video given how many times it has happened. But I think a title referring to the amount of penalties would be way better, as we get sidelined by the Audi, and just as we are recovering, a car behind comes crashing into us. And this is the one time I would say that the penalty was bullshit. Was I supposed to stay on the gravel and let everybody pass? And it wasn't like as if the Spaniard couldn't have seen me coming back onto the track. It's times like these that makes the game really frustrating, and all I can hope for is that the driver in the Audi gets a well-deserved penalty. If we take a look again, you'll see that I'm leaving enough space and holding back on the power to make sure that I don't steer into him, but somehow that wasn't good enough. So now, even after making up 8 positions, we are now again forced to move back at the penalty gate because of the actions that were beyond our control. That's definitely how I feel about that. We're gonna skip ahead to the 4th and final lap all the way to Lesmo 2, where we serve our penalty and end up losing 3 positions. Luck really was not on our side, as the group that were constantly fighting got rewarded with the positions despite the clear lack of sportsmanship that they showed. With the most recent races, especially at the Red Bull Ring last week of December, I feel as though people who actually showed sportsmanship and respect to their fellow driver ended up drawing the short straw and just being penalized for almost everything that they did. Coming to Parabolica one last time, I thought about making a dive bomb, but thought better of it. There's always another chance to do a better race, one where our rating does actually get the chance to improve. And the NSX does a really good job defending and keeping himself on the inside line. And we actually end up finishing P8 as one of the RCs that ends up with a penalty with all the continuous fighting. So it's not exactly the biggest loss, but we definitely could have finished at least P5 if it wasn't for the penalties. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in another video.